All right, so in this video, family, I'm going to share 7 tips that I would tell my younger self. Like, full transparency here. In my life, I've made a lot of mistakes. As a 49-year-old, lifetime self-employed individual, there are things in my life that I've struggled with when I was younger, and there are mistakes that I've made where if I hadn't have made them, they would have absolutely put me way further ahead than I am right now. This video will be basically for younger people, younger entrepreneurs, I would say under 30, or anybody that wants to drastically improve their life within the next 7 to 10 years. Some of these mistakes that I'm going to discuss in this video and things that I would have done differently, I feel like absolutely would have had a massive impact on my life had I paid more attention to them. For me personally, the 6th and the 7th one, actually more the 7th one, that is the one that would have impacted me the most as a younger self-employed individual had I paid the most attention to it. Hope you get value from this video. If you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And without any further ado, first tip I would absolutely give my younger self to drastically improve my happiness and success in my future life would be on the subject of discipline. They say that discipline is simply remembering what you want. And as a young person, I really struggled with quitting things prematurely. Before I ever had a chance to actually realize my potential, I would absolutely remind myself as a younger person that success is not the opposite of failure. I always believed that it was like success was on one side and failure was on the other side, and my objective was to stay away from failure and move closer to success. Now, as an older person, a 49-year-old, I realized that success is not the opposite of failure. It's actually on the other side of failure. Meaning, if I want to get to success, I need to be willing to go through the failure, not move away from it. Those are two totally different philosophies. And in order to think like that, to have that type of staying or stick-to-itiveness power, you have to have the ability to not quit. You have to remember what it is that you said you wanted. And again, too many times I would quit, I would give up on a thing simply because I forgot what it was that I originally said that I wanted. So I would absolutely tell my younger self and remind my younger self that it is going to take discipline to get it done. That's definitely something that I struggled with as a younger individual. Tip number 2 I would give my future self-employed self would be on the subject of figuring out what it is that you enjoy doing and then obsess over it. In my opinion, as a 49-year-old self-employed individual that's been self-employed my entire adult life, this is how you make money, by being proficient and efficient at what it is that you do, which requires you to be obsessed about what it is that you enjoy. Figure out how it works. Figure out the behind the scenes. Learn about what makes it tick. Learn about what makes it go. Learn about what makes it profitable. Learn about how things work when times are good. Learn about how things work when times are bad. Obsess over learning about what it is that you enjoy. This is going to make making money at the thing that you enjoy doing that much easier. Take the time when you're young to learn about what you're doing and get it done when you're young, because it's difficult to start on that journey of entrepreneurship and building wealth and all of that when you get older, once you got a family, once you're more established, once your lifestyle costs you more money. Never will you have the opportunity to build from the bottom like you do in your 20s, because you don't have any responsibilities, you don't have any money, all you have is time and the desire to work. So use your 20s to learn and obsess about what it is that you love doing. Get it done when you're young. Don't waste your youth. Number 3, big tip that I would give my future self-employed self as a younger individual. If you're going to be self-employed successfully, you need to learn to live on less than you make. Not just less than you make, but way less than you make. Because that is where your freedom in this self-employment world is going to come from. The space that you put intentionally between what you have to spend every month, what you have to spend every year, and what you make. And as a self-employed individual, you're probably going to have a high tax bill, and you're probably going to have money that you have to reinvest into your business as well. So never get too caught up on the top line number as a self-employed individual. Learn to live on way less than you make, so that you can save / accumulate and invest some money. You're gonna have to figure out ways to save first off of the top, not off of what's left. It's too difficult to save money if you spend everything and you do everything you feel like you need to do first, and then you try to save what's left. Treat your savings like a bill. As I'm thinking about this right now, as I'm saying this is actually coming to my mind right now. Something that I would tell my younger self-employed truck driver, owner operator self is, when you pay off your equipment, continue to pay on your equipment. Once you pay it off, continue to struggle to make that payment, but now every month you're making the payment to yourself. You're adding to your savings as opposed to struggling to pay somebody else their money. Little hacks like that are things that you're going to have to learn about as a future lifelong self-employed individual if you want to get ahead. You got to figure out a way to put a bunch of room in between what it costs you to live every month and what you earn every month. And in between that gap is where your financial freedom is going to come from. Number 4 tip that I would definitely give my younger future self-employed self: pay the IRS. And pay the IRS on time. No use in giving away extra money that you don't need to. You're going to have enough expenses that you have to cover already. You're going to have enough money that you have to spend on other things already. No need in giving the IRS a bunch of extra money and late fees that you don't need to. The IRS specializes in making people's lives that don't pay them difficult. So, as a self-employed individual, learn to take care of your taxes. Don't get behind on your taxes. Pay your tax bill. Take the money off top, just like you would your savings. Even though you're paying your taxes on the back end, you make your money, you spend it on what you need for your business. You're not taxed on that. You're taxed on what's left. So you basically pay your taxes on the back end, but you need to take the money out to take care of your taxes off the top before you ever look at your bottom dollar. It's not your money, and you don't want to form the habit of mishandling other people's money as a self-employed individual. Learn to allocate funds when you make it to take care of your IRS bill on time, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Number 5, I would have to tell my younger self-employed self this: I am having things that I need to deal with right now in regards to my health, just because I'm that age. So in my opinion, as a 49-year-old individual that has to take care of their own health insurance, I would tell my younger self that your habits matter. They affect your health. You're not going to be young forever. So pay attention to the habits that you allow yourself to develop, because they can come back and bite you when you get older. Get yourself some health insurance as a younger self-employed version of yourself, and when you need to, go to the doctor. When it's time for a regular checkup of a certain part of your body, go to the doctor. You can catch problems before they ever get out of hand, because a lot of the time self-employed individuals don't have health insurance, and they're not going to the doctor, and they're not getting things checked up, and they're not figuring out what's wrong with their body until later in their life. And this is another reason why I told you earlier, you want to get it done when you're young, because to just start on this self-employment journey or taking care of your health and paying attention to your habits and having health insurance, all that's more difficult. And trying to build wealth, it's all more difficult when you're older. So I know this sounds basic, but make sure you pay attention to your habits while you're young. They affect your health as you get older. And healthcare is expensive. Again, you want to make money and you want to keep it. Part of that, be it directly or indirectly, definitely has to do with taking care of your health. Number 6 tip I would give my younger self-employed self: continue learning and growing. Many of us in the self-employment world, at a certain point in our life, we stop learning and we stop growing. And in this world that we live in, things change so rapidly that you got to figure out a way to keep up with it. So continue reading books, continue taking courses, continue asking questions, continue learning, continue growing, continue expanding. In my opinion, as a 49-year-old looking back, I would say at the core of it, that is absolutely how you continue to make more and more money at whatever you do in this self-employment space. And number 7, this is probably the one that would have the most impact on my younger self-employed self. Remember, you can go wherever you want to, you can do whatever you want to when you are determined to. You've got all the tools. You have the ability. You just need to stay focused. You need to avoid distractions and keep your eyes on the goal. Make sure you actually take the time to write down your goals and revisit your goals. There's power in that. There's attraction power in that. And that also helps you to stay focused on the goal that it is that you keep revisiting. So don't let anything stop you. Keep your mind on what you're doing. And for you, young bro, the sky is the limit. There you have it. 7 life-changing tips for my younger self. I really wish I could have had a list like this when I was younger to help me work on the things that were going to impact my future life. So being that I can't send this to my younger self, I think I'm going to send it to my 3 children.